Hi, everyone. A very good evening to Mr. Ruben Arumugam, the CEO of Inspire.my, Mr. John Smith, the Success Manager of Book Creator. Vanakkam, vanakkam, vanakkam. Selamat datang to all of our audience. I welcome everyone to attend this webinar. I am the moderator, Madam Nirmala Devi from Sabah. I would like to introduce the speaker of today's session. Let me introduce Mr. John Smith. He is a success manager at Book Creator. He taught special education for 12 years. He's involved in technology integration for 7 years. He was a big Creator user and became friends with them very early on. The relationship continued and eventually a position opened and he grabbed the opportunity. He is a Book Creator ambassador and Apple Distinguished Educator. Well, I'm proudly welcoming Mr. John Smith to take over the slot to talk about Book Creator and how we educators can make use of this app. Please welcome Mr. John Smith. The mic is yours.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you. I appreciate everybody being here today, and I appreciate the opportunity to share Book Creator. So let me make sure that you can see my screen. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started today. Like was said, my name is John Smith. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a follow, awesome. If not, no worries. My email is johnsmith@bookcreator.com. So you can always reach out to me either on Twitter or you can reach out to me at my email if you have any questions after this evening or this morning, whatever it is. It's 8 o'clock in the morning for me. I've been up doing phone calls and webinars since about 5:30, so it's going along pretty well here for me. I will try to keep an eye on the comments over on the other screen, so I can try to answer questions as we go along. But if you do have questions, please try to put those into the comments box, and I'll definitely try to get to those. Like it was said, I was a special education teacher for 12 years. I was a technology integration specialist for 7, and now after many years of working with Book Creator and getting to know their team, I am now the teacher success manager here at Book Creator, and very excited about my job and my role. Basically, the entire idea behind my job is to make sure that teachers and students are successful using Book Creator. So that's really what I'm here for. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. My kids are 10, 6, and 3, and I'm sure at some point they will be waking up here soon, and they'll probably be running by and saying hi and popping in. So you may get a chance to even see my own kids. Let's see what else. I love golf and I love clean cars. So I'm in Ohio, so it may not be easy for you to drive your dirty vehicles over here, but if you have a dirty vehicle and you're anywhere near Ohio ever, feel free to stop by and I'll be more than happy to clean that car for you. All right, so today's agenda, basically very simple. We're going to take a deep dive into all of Book Creator's features. Excuse me. I got a little bit of a sinus going on here. So we're going to take a deep dive into all of Book Creator's features and make sure that we all have a really good understanding of what Book Creator is all about. All right, so the first thing that I would like to show you is how do you actually get to Book Creator. And so you're going to go to app.bookcreator.com. So app.bookcreator.com. And when you go to this website, you're going to get a chance to sign up for a free account. All right. Now, be careful because a lot of times teachers get super, super excited and they just start clicking buttons. You need to be careful because right here, it's automatically set up for student sign in. All right. You don't want to sign in as a student. You are a teacher. So you want to click on the actual button that says teacher, and then you're going to sign in with Google, Microsoft, your email from school, or Clever. Now, again, just be aware that this is very important. You are always teachers. Students are always students. So you don't want to, like I said, accidentally sign up as a student because it won't help you any. Once you've clicked on that button, it's going to ask you a few questions. All right? It's going to ask you what you teach, what grade level, and then it's going to ask you to create your own library. So your very first library. Now, when you create your very first library, it doesn't matter what you call it, but when you create your library, it's going to look like this. All right, so it's going to look very similar to what you see on the screen here. All right, so it's just a library with books in it, except yours won't have any books in it just yet. So once you've created that library, I do want to bring your attention to the top left. All right, there's these 3 lines to the top left. And if you click on these lines, this is your teacher dashboard, and there is some amazing resources in the teacher dashboard that you need to be aware of. So first things first about the teacher dashboard. This is where your books and libraries will live. So all the books and libraries that you make will be in this section. You'll also have an opportunity at the bottom to join other libraries. So for example, if I created a library that I wanted to share with you, I could give you that code and you could join my library. Now I'm actually going to do that here in a little bit. So you'll get a chance to join my library. So you just scroll to the bottom, you click on this button that says join, and you enter a code, and then you get to join a library. The next tab over that I'd like to share with you is our Discover tab. And the Discover tab is just a really great place for you to get ideas and resources that will help you out. So right at the top, we've got some books written by our book creator ambassadors, which is really fantastic. So amazing resources by grade level, by our ambassadors. We also have some resources here by grade level. So, if you're teaching the early grades, you can click here. If you teach middle school, high school, elementary, just click and you'll see lots of books written by students and teachers for those grade levels. I do encourage you to look at books that are written by grade levels other than yours, because a lot of times we can get really good ideas from students that we don't teach. So definitely want you to check those out. If you scroll down even further, we have some book creator books, again, written by our ambassadors on a wide range of topics. So there's a huge amount of books here that you can take a look at, lots of ideas. And then if you scroll down even further, we have resources by subject area. So, if you're a math teacher and you want to know how to use books in your classroom, how can you use Book Creator? Click on there. If you teach special ed like I did, you can click on that and take a look at some of the special ed books. But there are lots of great resources here. The next tab over at the top is our Learn tab. And the Learn tab is brand new. It's really cool. And it's just a section with lots of frequently asked questions, step-by-step guides to help you solve things, problems, just deeper information. So after today, if you're more interested in accessibility, I can click on the accessibility tab, and what it does is it pulls up our support page, and you can see all of these different documents related to accessibility. So this is definitely a really cool place to go, especially if you're trying to learn more about Book Creator. And then underneath that is our relatively new Book Creator Certified Authors program. Now, this is really cool, one, because teachers love badges and stickers, and I think it's really awesome because what it will do is when you click this button that says View the Course, you will get a new tab that appears here at the top that says Certification. If you click on that tab, you will be given a series of coursework that you can do. So 14 videos, a couple minutes up to about 7 minutes or so, followed by a quiz. So watch all the videos, pass the quiz, and then you can become a Book Creator Certified Author. And when you click on this blue button, you get a special badge that you can send out through social media, through download, whatever, in your email signature. This is really cool. You'll become a Book Creator Certified Author, and I promise you will have a really deep understanding of what Book Creator is all about. All right, so definitely want you to check out the Book Creator Certified Author program. We also have more webinars, so if you're not tired of looking at my face after today, you can certainly join more webinars. We have an implementation plan in our PD templates. All right, so lots of great resources there. I'm going to go back to our library, all right, and today I'm going to show you a few things inside here along with all of the features of Book Creator. But the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about how you get students to join your library. So as a teacher, I've created this library, and then right here in the center toward the top, there's a little blue button that says invite code. If I click on that invite code, a code will pop up. Now I'm going to give you a chance to write this code down. I do not have access to post anything into the chat, but if somebody, the moderator, if you would like to put that code into the chat window, that would be great. This code will give you a chance to join my library. All right, so you would just take that code, copy it, and then you're going to paste it into that join box. So I'm going to show you how to do this right now. So I go back up to my 3 lines. I go to my teacher dashboard. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to click this button here that says join, and then I'm going to enter the code. And the code is, again, right there on your screen. All right, so once you click that code in there and click join, you will now be part of my library. So as a teacher, when I'm looking at this library here, at the top left, I can see this little drop down. And when I click on this drop down, I'll be able to see which students are joining my library, or in this case, which teachers are joining my library. All right, I can see that Chang has joined. All right, this is great. So once you have joined the library, your name will pop up right here as an author. All right, now there are 3 things that's going to happen once you're in that library, and the same thing is true with your students. All right, 3 things once your students have joined. 1, they can view all of the books inside your library. So if you click on these little gray arrows at the bottom and just kind of scroll around, you can view the books that are in the library. You can't mess with them. You can't change them. They're just there for viewing. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is that the students can actually create their own books inside your library. So if they click the plus new book button at the top right, they can choose a book style. Now my own choice is I always choose the bottom row because those are comic options. You don't have to make a comic book, but you can. And if you choose to make a comic book, it has comic options. If you choose this top row, the comic options will not be there. So I definitely always pick the bottom. But that will allow you to make a book inside my library. And then the third option is that your students will be able to collaborate on a book together. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Underneath the book that you want to have collaboration turned on, you click the share button, and then you click on this button that says collaborate. When I click on collaborate, I have 2 options. Either everyone in the library can collaborate on this book, or I can change it and I can choose which individual students I can collaborate with, all right? Now, in this case, I'm going to leave it turned on for everyone. So I'm going to click Start Collaboration. And now you'll notice a new icon appears at the top of the book, all right? These little people and the little arrows, right? So now, if you click inside this book, you will be able to go in and edit this book with me. Now, we can edit this book together. In real time. We can all work on the same page. We can work on different pages. We can work on different pages at different times. So this is a really great way to show your students Book Creator, especially if you are in a remote learning kind of situation. All right. So I know here in the States, a lot of schools are going back physically. A lot of schools are not going back physically, right, because of the pandemic, and they're worried about what's going to happen. So it's a wide range across the world, but with this collaboration feature, everybody can work on the book. All right, so I'm just gonna scroll around, and I just want you to find a blank page somewhere in this book, if you can. Now, if you cannot multitask, don't worry, you don't need to. It's just there in case you want to go in and play around. All right, so now I actually found some pages that were already made. So if you want, you can just go to the very end of the book, and you can click and create some blank pages by clicking this plus button at the end of the book. All right, so I'm just gonna click in here. I'm gonna go to the very end, and I'm gonna show you how to use Book Creator. All right, once you're in Book Creator, there are really 2 important buttons that you need to push. All right, there's a plus button at the top right that allows you to add content, and then there's the I button or the inspector right next to it that allows you to manipulate that content or change it. All right, so if you click the plus button, we have 3 categories of things that you can add to a book. You can add media, you can add comics, and you can add shapes. All right, so we're gonna start with shapes, and we're gonna work our way up to the cooler features. So with shapes, you click on a button, click on a shape, I should say, and it adds a shape to your page. I can click and drag, I can resize it, move it around, And with some of the shapes, you can double click inside and you can actually type inside that shape. When I click the inspector button, I can now change the color of my shape. I can add a shadow. I can turn on the border. If I choose a border, I can choose a border color, and I can drag the slider and change the border size. You also have some options here for text. So I can change the fonts, right? My personal favorite is Open Dyslexic, a font specifically for dyslexic students. I can then back out, change the color of my text, and I can also drag the slider and change the size of the text. Again, from here, I can resize it. But I've seen a lot of teachers use the shape feature for graphic organizers, mind maps, timelines, using it to add labels to diagrams and images. But during remote learning, one of the things that we've seen teachers use it for a lot is to use it for comments. So student writing is on the page, teacher leaves feedback and comments inside the shape, and then just kind of leaves it over here off to the side. And now the student can see the comments that the teacher wants them to fix, and then they can make those edits on the page. All right, so that is shapes. And of course, you can make cars and houses and Mickey Mouse or whatever else you want to make with shapes. But there are a few other options there for you as well. Plus button. The next category is media. And under the media category, there is a lot going on. So the very first one we're going to talk about is the import button. When I click on import, all right, we have some options. The very first option is a Google image search. So if I type in something like dog and hit search, I can then see all of these images of dogs. I pick the one that I want, and I see that the link here tells me where it comes from. And then I click select, and now that image is added right to the page. Now, what's really cool about this Google image search is all of these images are Google Safe Search images. So they are the safest images that Google allows. They're all labeled for commercial reuse with modification, and they're all labeled as non-attribution. So these are about the safest images that you can get. All right, so definitely worth checking those out. Now, you can resize your image, you can move it around, and you can even rotate that image. Now, from here, we have some really cool options. If you click the inspector, you can then hyperlink your image to a website. So if you click on the dog, it will take you to the website. Or, speaking of dog, my dog is barking. Hang on one second here. All right, my apologies. Get my son to let the dog out. So you can click on this and it will take you to that website, or you can also add accessibility text. Now, this is really important because if you're using accessibility text, then somebody with maybe visual impairments who is reading the book, instead of just clicking on the play button up here to the top right and having that book read to them, it will read the text, it will play the videos, play the audio, but now it will also read the image and it will tell you what's going on with the image. So this is very, very good, very cool stuff. All right, so I love the accessibility options. All right, so that's images. Next, plus button, media. The next option, still under import, is Google Maps. So if you pull in Google Maps, I can put in something like, now chances are when you do this, your kids are going to put in their address first, right? Because they want to see what their house looks like from space. So there's my house from space. I add that Google map to the page. I can resize it and make it a little bit bigger. And then what's really cool is I think this is a great opportunity to bring in those shapes again. So if I go back to shapes, find my arrow, I can now drag, right, and say John's house, John's wife's clean car. If I'm a math teacher, maybe I can say, acute angle, 90-degree angle. Here's a obtuse angle over here. You can annotate on top of these images. You can make labels. With the pen tool that we're going to show you here in a minute, you can actually circle and draw and handwrite on top of these maps. Maybe even highlight some different roads and things like that to show directions. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do with the maps. All right, next one. Under the plus button, under media, Under import still, there is an option for files. So with files, you can actually pull in files from your computer. So PDFs, photos, video, audio, documents, all those things from your computer you can pull right in. Now, I told you I'm a car cleaning nerd. So if I pull in this PDF right here, I can bring in a PDF for my students to view right from within that book. So there's the PDF. I click on it, and it will open that PDF so that my students can view it. So here's my car cleaning guide, right? All my fun stuff. So after I'm done reading that, I can go in here and write my learning. I can explain what I'm learning. I can share my understandings and feelings all right there on the page. All right, so very cool. Next, plus button, media, import. The next one is Google Drive. So if you have a Google Drive, you can connect to that. And once you've connected to that, you can pull in files, photos, video, audio, documents, Google Forms, all of that stuff right there into your book. And then my last one here under this import is the embed feature. And this is quite possibly one of my favorites of the whole program, but definitely in this section. With the embed feature, anything that you can create elsewhere that has an embed code, you can put right inside a book creator. So for example, I'll go to YouTube because this is the easiest one to demonstrate this on. But if I go to YouTube and click on a video, I'm going to pause it because we don't want to hear everything.
University makes it possible.
I'm going to pause that video. And then underneath the video, there is a share button. And when I click on the share button, I get this little button here that says embed. When I click on the embed code or the embed button, I see this code. Now, this code doesn't mean much to me at all, but I'm going to take that code and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to put that code over here inside this box. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to confirm the link. Now, I see the video, I see the link, I see the title, and I say add to book. And now that video is added directly into the book. Now, what's amazing about this is what happens when I click play. All right, so watch what happens when I click play.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Having a great day. Today we have such.
All right, now I'm going to pause that. What you'll notice is that that video starts playing automatically. No commercials at the beginning, no commercials at the end, no comments underneath, and none of that sidebar stuff over here on the right, which is where kids and teachers get lost for days watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube that they probably shouldn't be watching, right? So a lot of amazing things that can happen when you embed content right inside the book. Now, it's not just YouTube videos. YouTube, Vimeo, Soundtrap, Desmos calculators, GeoGebra activities, Powtoon, Flipgrid, Explain Everything, Google Poly. So again, basically anything that has an embed code, you can dump right inside of your book. And that just makes it, even more versatile than it already is. All right, next, plus button. Still under media, the next one down is the camera. Now this one's fairly self-explanatory. You can either take a still picture, click use, and add that to the book. Now, same rules apply. If I click this and then click the inspector, I can hyperlink it to a website or to a page, or I can add alternative text, right, for accessibility options. Or the other option under media and camera is to record a video. All right, so I'm going to click record video, gives you a countdown, get out that last burp. Hey, everybody, John Smith here. Hope you're having a great day. All right. And I click use video. Now that video will be added directly into the book. Now what I think is amazing about video is that students are really good at making videos, right? If you don't believe me, look at TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. Kids are making videos all the time. Why not harness that and allow them to make videos sharing what they are learning in the classroom? Now, some other cool features with video, when you click on the video one time and then click inspector, you can even now add captions to your video. So again, thinking about accessibility, I can add captions. But what's amazing about this is that I can add captions in 120 different languages. Now, if I speak English, I can do English captions. If I speak Spanish, I can do Spanish captions. It's really amazing. It doesn't translate, but it's really cool that you can add those captions. So you just hit the button that says generate automatically. You do not have to watch these bouncing dots. You can click the back button, continue working in your book, and then within 30 seconds to a minute or so, excuse me, you will see a little message down here at the bottom that tells you that those captions are done and that they are now available for anybody who's viewing that book. All right, so if I click on the video, there they are. You can see the captions right there, ready to go. Now, if you make a mistake, you can hit the inspector, and then you can hit add captions again, and then you can actually edit the existing captions, right? And then hit done, and everything is all perfect, right? So I love captions. Again, great accessibility option, especially if you have students who are hard of hearing. Now you can actually click the play button. They can actually read what's going on in that video. All right, so that's captions and video. Plus button, media. The next one down under the camera is the pen tool. Now the pen tool is definitely a showstopper, all right? So if you are not sitting down, you might want to be sitting down now because it's going to be amazing. So with the pen tool, I click on this black dot. I can choose the different colors. My personal favorite is this these magic inks down here at the bottom. And so with the magic ink, as I'm drawing, the ink is automatically changing color. All right, your kids will go completely bananas over this because they will have so much fun and they will love it, I promise. All right, so that's the pen tool. Now, I'm going to change it to a regular color here for a second. I'm going to go to our brushes. And when you click on the brush, you have some options. You have a marker, you have a brush, you have a crayon, you have a highlighter. All right, but my favorite in this category right now is the auto pen. If you have ever asked a student to draw something, especially if they're above about 5th or 6th grade, chances are they groaned, right? Just like teachers do. If you ask teachers to draw something, they probably groaned a little bit and said, ugh, I don't want to draw. If they didn't groan at you, they probably did once you told them they had to draw using a trackpad, because drawing on a trackpad is terrible, right? It's an awful, awful experience. And I'm going to demonstrate this by trying to draw a bike. All right, now, I'm already upset because my bike tires look absolutely ridiculous, right? But as I'm drawing my bike, at the top of the screen, the auto draw is trying to figure out what it is I'm drawing. Is it cherries? No. Is it a tractor? No. Is it a bicycle? Ooh, yes. And so I click on the bike I want and watch what happens. It fixes the drawing automatically. And now it actually looks like a bike. All right, so I'm a big fan of taking away those excuses from the students, especially when they say, I don't know how to do this, I can't use it, things like that. Now they can be artists. All right, now I did see a question come through on a chat. Can we use this offline? The version of Book Creator that I'm sharing with you this morning is our online version of Book Creator, and there is not an offline option with this version. If you are interested in an offline version, we do also have an iPad app. Now, the iPad app is a little bit different. It does not have all of the features that we have in the online version, but it will be the best option for those offline users. All right. So now I've made my bike. I click the X, and now I can go actually into my colors and go to my rainbow inks, right, my magic inks, and now I can start filling in my magical bike. And then I hit done, and once you're done, this bike becomes an image that you can resize, you can move it around, and you can even rotate it, right? You can make it pop wheelies. So some pretty cool things that you can do here with the pen tool. Now, also in the pen tool, we do have the ability to add emojis. So emojis these are all of the standard emojis, right? Minus anything that's inappropriate. But from here, you can search emojis. And I want you to think about emojis kind of in a different way. Don't think about emojis as just those annoying little things at the end of text messages and tweets. Think about emojis as design elements. So if I'm writing a research article about sharks, for example, I can search for a shark emoji, add it to my page, but then make it real big. All right. And so now, again, instead of using it as just that thing at the end of a sentence or a text, now I'm adding emojis as design elements. All right, so these are really cool. So I love the ability to use emojis. And of course, you can rotate them, resize them, move them around. All right, next, plus button, media. Talked about the pen. Next one is text. Now with the text option, you can obviously type in some text. If you have text from a Google Doc, let's say you could copy and paste text into this text box here. You can bold, italicize, underline. You can even highlight your text and then click link, and now that text is linked directly to a website or to a page number of the book. But the really cool thing here is the microphone. So again, my students would come to me all the time and say, listen, I can't write, I can't spell, I don't know where the keyboard keys are, I'm not doing this. All right, and I would look at my students and I would say, well, guess what? Your teachers are the exact same way. They can't spell, they can't write, they don't know how to type, and they certainly don't know where the keyboard keys are, right? They're too busy clicking around like this. And the kids would laugh. And I would say to them, guess what? You can write with your face. So if you click this microphone, you'll get a drop down that you can choose from 120 different languages. I'm going to hit stop because I'm just chatting away here. But with that drop down, you can, again, choose from 120 different languages, and you can do speech to text in all of those languages. All right, so you can see there's my text. I click done, and now that text gets added to the page. So the question, I did see a question come through. Is this a software download or does it all stay online? This is all online, and you can use it through Chrome, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. And like I said, if you are interested in the offline type of work, we do have our iPad app that you could download onto your iPad. All right, so here's our text box. So once our text box is on the screen, I can click the inspector. I can drag the slider and change the size. I can left, center, right, justify, bold, italicize, or underline, change the font, change the color, add a background color to that. And now our new feature, you can actually add columns. So you can go 1, 2, 3, or 4 columns, just choose, and it will make columns for you. All right, now you do have to do a little finagling there to make sure that the text is in the appropriate location, but you can make all of those different options. All right, really pretty slick. Next, plus button. Media. The next one down after text is the record button. And the record button is probably one of my favorite buttons overall. And here's why. I click record, it gives you a start box, click start, gives you that little countdown, and now I can record. Hey everybody, John Smith here. Hope you're having a great day learning about Book Creator. I click stop, use recording, and now that audio that I just recorded is right there inside the book. Can be clicked on, can be played, and students can use it for a wide range of things. Now, one of the things that I think is really awesome, specifically about the record button, is for languages, right? So you can make bilingual books. You can make books, in the United States, English language learner books are really big right now because we're trying to get students whose first native language is not English to learn English while they're in school. So a lot of really cool options with the record button. Again, you can record your voice. You can record students reading their page, which is way cooler than clicking the play button and having a robot read your page. Having that actual student read your page is super, super powerful. So we've got that. You can play music. So if you're musically inclined and you want to play a musical instrument in the background, you can record that, add that to the book. And you can also add sound effects, right? Somebody wants to add sound effects like a closing door or something behind them while they're in the book. All right, so some really cool options for the record feature. Now, if you click the inspector, you can also add a transcript to that recording. So I've done my recording. Again, that might be great for individuals who can hear, but if you're unable to hear, then the audio button doesn't really help. So in that case, you can click generate automatically and it will generate transcripts. Now, what's really cool about the transcript, again, is you can do the transcript in 120 different languages. And so after a few seconds, you don't have to watch that. A new little icon will appear here at the bottom left of this play button, and it will have the transcript. All right, so let's give it a second here. And once that, well, maybe it'll take a minute, right? It'll take a little bit of time. Just depends on what's going on with the Wi-Fi. My son is watching an educational show right now, so that's probably killing some of the Wi-Fi for me. But within a couple of minutes or so, a new button will appear here at the bottom of this play button. There it is. And when you click on it, you can now see the transcript that goes with that audio button. If you need to, you can click edit, and you can edit that transcript as well. All right. Next, plus button. We took care of everything under the media category. The next one is our comics. So I love our comic features. And so first thing you can do is click on the panels, and you can choose some different panel styles. So I'm going to choose one here. When I click inside the panel, I have two options. I can choose the left side, and when I click on that, I can add photos from Google, My Files, or Drive. So we'll just go in here, we'll add a new picture, hit select, and now that picture gets added directly inside that comic panel, so it fits perfectly. And then the other option over here to the right is to choose a camera image. So if I choose one right from my camera, click use picture, and now that gets added inside the comic panel. From here, if I click the plus button, I can add a speech bubble. Oops. I almost said it's Monday, and my fingers aren't working, except it's not Monday. It's actually Tuesday. It was Monday for me because I got Monday off as a holiday here, so my brain's not there yet. You can add thought bubbles, okay? Once it's here, I can then click the plus button, and I can add special comic texts. I really love the caption box, because when you add the caption box, you can see it's really starting to come together, looking like a comic. Now, I think comics are really awesome. Kids love comics. And I think what's nice about comics is you can do so many different things. I mean, you can teach math problems and processes in comics. You can teach narrative. You can teach historical, viewpoints and events. There's so many things you can do with comics, and they're just more engaging, right? There's a lot of fun to look at. All right, next, if I click the plus button under comics, the last one is stickers. And so with stickers, we have two columns of stickers that we made, and then you can click the plus button and stickers, and even choose one that is blank, and then you can make your own sticker. So you just click and drag it around. I click the plus button then and click text, and then I'm going to add some text on top of that sticker. And now I've created basically my own comic sticker. All right, so some really pretty cool options there. When I click this white outside edge and then click the inspector, I can then choose backgrounds behind my comics. And so again, you can see it's really starting to come together, looking like a comic. If I go to a blank page and click on the blank page, I can also hit the inspector. And when I click the inspector here, I can add those comic backgrounds just to a blank page if I want to. But we also have some other options. You can do colors for your backgrounds. If you don't like ours, you can click the plus button and make your own color. You can choose different paper styles for your book. You can do graph paper, small graph paper that's so tiny nobody's going to use it, line paper, kindergarten paper, college ruled, kindergarten paper, the dot game you play when you're bored at PD, the dot game you play when it's an all-day PD, and music paper. All right, so some pretty cool choices there. We also have different borders you can choose from, and we have different patterns, and we have different textures. Now, my daughter, she calls this one unicorn paper. All right, so we got unicorn paper, marble, and resume paper. So many different options here for you to play around with. I did see a comment. It said, interesting, wash hands. So maybe that's just a little bit of commentary, right? We should all be washing our hands and trying to stay safe. But it made me think of something else, though, too. One of the things you could do with Book Creator is not just create books in the traditional sense, right? The books don't have to be just storybooks. Maybe it's a book about how to wash your hands the right way, right? Maybe it's a book about how to wear the face mask the right way. Or maybe it's a book about how to behave in class, right? Maybe you create a book that shares class procedures. So there's so many different options, all right, that you can get to. All right, now I did see a question here from, I think it's Sumiko. And so Sumiko, the question was, after you click the plus button, I don't see the comic options, right? I just see media and shapes. And then why is that? So let me back out of the book here for a second. When you click on this new book button at the top right to create that new book, there are 6 different options, all right? If you choose one of these 3 options at the top, you will not have the ability to choose comics. Those are our standard books. So if you want comics, you're going to choose one of the bottom options, and then those comic features will appear. Now, personally, my own choice, I don't use the top row of books at all. All right, I only use the bottom row, even if I'm not making a comic book, because if I use the bottom row, then at least I have comic options. But if I choose the top row, I don't. Okay, so you definitely want to do that. All right, you definitely want to think about that as you're going through this. All right, now, so here as I go into this book, here's a great example. Look, I've got somebody added a comic bubble to the front page. Somebody added a sticker. So again, in real time, we're just working on this book together. All right, and we can work on different pages. It's just really cool. Now, I do want to share with you real quick. If I go into a page of the book, and then click on this button here, it says Pages. All right, there's some really cool options here with the Pages view. I can see this bird's eye view of my book, right? I can see all the pages that are being worked on. But what's really cool here is I can actually just move pages around. So if I don't like the order and I want to change the order around, I can certainly do that. And I just saw a comment that said cool and easy, right? Absolutely, right? Book Creator is super, super easy. And I think that's what I like most about Book Creator as a teacher, especially in these remote learning times, is that there's not a huge learning curve. Most times, I don't even teach kids how to use Book Creator. I just let them start playing around with it for a few minutes, and then they figure things out, right? I don't need to give them a lecture on how to use it, right? Or I might model it like I'm doing with everybody here today. All right, so yeah, it's definitely super easy. Now, from here, if I click the 3 dots, I can make an exact copy of my page. So there it is. Now I've got an exact copy. I can click the 3 dots. I can click copy to, and what I can do is I can take that one page and copy it into another book in another library. So I just click on the library. I choose the book or multiple books that I want that in, or all of the books, and I click copy. And then that page, that one page, the one with the cow and the circle, will go directly into that other book or all of the other books. And then I can click the 3 dots. I can move pages around. I can insert. When I click insert, it just adds a blank page between the pages. I can click the 3 dots, and I can even delete pages. Now, if I click this select button at the top right and then hit choose the different pages that I want, I can also copy multiple pages into multiple books just by clicking copy and choosing the book library and then the actual book. Or I can actually delete multiple pages at once now, which is very, very useful because we didn't used to have that feature. All right, I'm going to hit done. From here, this is Pages View. I'm going to go back into our actual book. I'm going to go out into our library, and I want to show you a few features inside the library itself. So underneath your book in a library, there is this icon that looks like 3 books leaning on each other. If you click on that icon, I can import a book from another location. I can move my book from one library to the next. I can copy a book from one location to another, right? Or I can copy it directly into this library. So in this instance, teachers are making templates for their students. So I create a book that's a template, very similar to like this yearbook template, for example. And I'll show you a couple pages of this. It's just a blank yearbook. And so students just have to click on a page, and then they just have to change the images or add text or do what they need to do. And so what you can do is by copying, excuse me, by clicking this book icon and then clicking copy, students, when they join your library, like you did today, you can click copy book. The students will choose to put it in the same library. And what it will do is it will make an exact copy of that book in the library that student can edit, but not the original, right? They cannot edit the original, but only that student can edit their copy of the book. So now they can go through and answer your questions. They can do so much inside of this. All right, so that's how to copy. All right, and we got somebody made a book. Awesome, fantastic. Next, under the book, if you click the 3 books icon, you can combine books. Now, this is really useful, especially if you have a library with lots of books in it. You click on the books that you want in the order that you want them. You hit next, you give it a title, you click create book, and now it takes all of those individual books and sucks them together into one giant book, all right, which is really cool. Now, this will take a few minutes because it's a big book, but you get the idea. Also, under the book, you can delete if you don't like that book there anymore. All right, now, the next button over is the share button. We talked a little bit about collaboration, right, and how to turn that on. But another button here is publish online. So if I click publish once, I check the title, check the author, click publish again, and then that book is now available online for anybody to read if they have the link. So you just copy the link right here, paste that into an email, a remind, a text message, a YouTube, or I'm sorry, not YouTube, like Google Classroom, so many things that you can send that link to, and then anybody with an internet connected device is able to read that book. Now, it's not searchable on Google, so you don't have to worry about that, but it is searchable, or I'm sorry, it's only readable by people who have the link. So if you have the link, you can check out the book and you can read it on any internet connected device. We also have, like I said, collaboration. You can download your book as an ebook, which comes down as an EPUB file. It's not overly useful because Apple Books and Book Creator are really the only two that can read it. Or you can print your book out. Now, don't get too excited because it's not printing like, we're not going to send you a hardback book, but you can download it as a PDF, print it out on your own using your own printer, and then you can give that to your students or parents, however you want to do it. And then the last piece that I want to share with you this morning before we take any questions that you may have or things like that, up at the top right, there is a gear icon. And if you click on the gear, then there is a section here where you can change the name of the library. You can turn on or off Google image search. You can turn on or off students' ability to edit their own books. Students can read each other's books, turn it on or off. Students can collaborate without the teacher turning on collaboration, turn it on or off. And students can publish their own books online. You can turn that on or off. And then instead of publishing 35 individual books, you can actually publish the entire library. So you click publish, answer a few of these questions, and then click publish again. And then anybody with the link is able to view all of the books that are inside that library. All right, so some pretty cool features there. Okay, now that is Book Creator in a nutshell. All right, now I do want to show you one other book that we just came out with, and this is our Back to School with Book Creator book. Now, I don't know what the schools in your part of the world are doing right now, but at least here in the States, most of our schools are starting to go back, right? Well, again, whether it's in remote situations or physical or a combination of both, we are starting to go back to school. And so we just came out with this book, Back to School with Book Creator. And this book is really, really amazing. And it will give you lots of ideas for using Book Creator in your classroom, all right, especially when you go back to school. So if you just click through this book, and it's in the library, so if you joined my library, you can make a copy of it. It's also on our website at bookcreator.com. But over here on the left is our table of contents. And you'll notice that these words are blue, which means that these are linkable. So if I'm looking through this and I have no understanding of Book Creator, then I can certainly click on the introduction. I can click on the getting started, and it's got video recordings in there of our webinars. If I'm a little bit maybe a little bit more advanced and I've been using it for a while, I can start down here, look at some ideas, concepts, different things that I might do with my students on the first day of school. Lots of great resources for using Book Creator in your classroom as you go back to school, including how to clean up libraries and some other things like that that will definitely help out. But again, I think this is just a really cool book, and if you look at it, you go to Pages View and kind of look at it from overhead. There are a ton of pages with totally awesome examples for using it in the classroom. Great tips and tricks, amazing stuff. So definitely want you to check that out. Okay, now this is the end of my part. Now I do want to say before we before I take questions, I do want to say that I've seen a lot of great comments in here. It seems everybody's really excited about Book Creator, and I think that's great. I love talking about Book Creator, and I've seen for me firsthand what can happen when students are able to make books, all right, and we can publish those out there for a wider audience. It really changes the conversation for students. So instead of me just being the only teacher to grade their work and I get to keep it myself or hand it back to the kid, now there's an opportunity for students to work and share their work around the world. So think about that. We do have a global collaborative writing project coming out here in the next month or two, which I want you to keep an eye out for as well, called the Twimo Project. And then I'm actually going to be back tomorrow and Thursday at the same time, right? So we can do another webinar. And tomorrow's webinar is going to be the things that you may not have known about Book Creator. All right, so I showed you a lot of features today. But tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more about some hidden features, some things that maybe you didn't know existed inside of Book Creator. All right, so we're going to talk about that. And again, I'll take some time to answer questions and help you out if you have any questions. And again, you can continue to work inside this library. And then on day 3, right on Thursday, my favorite webinar, we're going to do a 1 book, 1 hour project. And so with the 1 book, 1 hour project, you are going to be writing a book and putting it together and publishing it all in an hour. All right, so it is going to be a lot of fun. Your teachers, you're going to love it. You're going to find out that you'll be able to take that activity back to your classroom and to your students, and they'll be able to have fun with it as well. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stop talking about Book Creator stuff. But if you could, in the chat window, if you have questions, put those into the question box. If you don't have any questions, just talk about how you think you might be able to use this in your classroom as the school year begins. All right, a lot of people are happy here. Jem, is it available in the Google Play Store? And the answer to that is no. So right now we have the app, which is available on iPad only, and we have our online version. And the online version is, you can use the online version in the Chrome, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. So if you have a tablet that has a Google Play Store, you can certainly use the online version on that. Yeah, I see some comments. 1 book, 1 hour. Okay, right? Sounds interesting. So if you're not familiar with Book Creator very much, I definitely recommend that over the next day or two, you play around in here, get a chance to try it out. Remember, you can sign up for your free account at app.bookcreator.com, so app.bookcreator.com. That will allow you to sign up for your free account. All right, Julie, can we save the created book in the Google Classroom? So that's a great question, Julie. You can send a book to Google Classroom as long as it is published. So for example, this book that's on the screen here, if I click on the globe to the top, I've already published this book. I can copy this link and put that link into Google Classroom, but it doesn't sync with Google Classroom in the way that I think that you might be wanting. Okay? Awesome. Yes, Azreen, how do you change the font size? Great question. So if I click inside of a page here, I'm just going to add some text real quick. All right, there's my text. So if you have, if you click done, Jazreen, and there's your text, and I want to change it, click on the text one time so that it has that blue outline around it, and then click the inspector. And now you can drag the slider to change the size of the font. Left, center, right, justify, bold, italicized, underline, change font, change the color, add some columns. Really cool options for text. All right, thank you, very informative. Thank you, everyone. Awesome. Well, I'll stick around for a couple minutes in case there are any extra questions that are going on. But other than that, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share Book Creator with everyone. So I want to thank my host and my moderator for allowing me to do that. But anyway, I will stick around for a couple minutes to answer any questions. Other than that, that's all I've got for you. If you don't have any questions and you don't want to look at me anymore, be safe out there. Happy bookmaking. And yeah, just be safe. All right. Thank you, everyone. See if there's any more comments coming in.
Thank you, Mr. John Smith, for the great explanation about a Book Creator app. So hopefully the teachers are able to log in to get free access to the whole lots of books, and so that they can engage the students in their teaching and learning. And most importantly, we want to encourage the students to be good readers. So hopefully the students will be able to read more books and also be a creator. So that is most, I would say, an amazing feature in this Book Creator app. I mean, not only the user, but the creator as well. And your explanation was great, and I'm sure the teachers were able to understand. We are in the post-COVID-19 stage, so we missed using, some of us, I think most of us missed using Book Creator app. I think it's not too late. We can still use it during post-COVID, and it is a very good tool for us to use for the students in the classroom as well. Well, if there's no questions, I would like to give an announcement for our audience. Well, thank you for watching this webinar of our day one related to Book Creator. What we are going to ask you to do is that write about what you have learned from today's webinar. Attach your selfies with Mr. John Smith. If you have not done, please do so now. You still have a couple of minutes. And any screenshots of today's webinar, you can post on Twitter and Facebook. Do not forget to hashtag Book Creator Week, Book Creator Community, hashtag Inspire My, and also on Twitter, the iPod Teacher. I think Mr. Ruben has already posted on the chat box. It shouldn't be a problem. Well, at the same time, for those who are attending our webinar, please don't forget to fill in the attendance form. That is, the link is appearing on the screen. And make sure you key in your name, formulations, your IC number, and also your email address correctly, uppercase and lowercase, and whatever icons you have, whatever cases that you have. Make sure you put them correctly so that the certificate can be sent to you. And do not forget to share your experience with us on Twitter and Facebook. And do not forget to log in again to our webinar tomorrow, day 2, and also day 3. We expect more participants, more audience will be joining our webinar. Mr. John Smith, any last few couple of words?
No, again, I just want to say thank you, and definitely fill out that attendance form because we are giving away some Book Creator licenses. So if you fill out that attendance form, we will randomly pick somebody each day. We will randomly pick a person or so to get a free account. So you definitely want to fill out that attendance form, and I'll talk with Ruben and make sure that we get the name of that winner each day. And so you definitely want to do that. I did see a couple of quick questions that I do want to make sure that I get to real quick. Can I save one of the pages as a picture? So we don't have the ability to export a page as a picture, but what you can certainly do is make your page and then just screenshot the page, and now it's a picture that you can put somewhere else. So that's one way you could do it. And then can I put it in other languages? So the text can be put in other languages as long as your device has those other language keyboards on it. And if it has the other language keyboards, then you can certainly add other languages and text to your book. So, yep, absolutely. Other than that, nope, be safe out there. Happy bookmaking. And again, sorry I keep looking up. I'm trying to look at both screens so that I can see the comments and things. So I feel like you guys have been looking up my nose most of the morning. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for being here. Like I said, happy bookmaking. Be safe out there. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. John Smith, for the great explanation and also words of encouragement. And I hope also all of you will stay safe from COVID-19 and hope to see all of you tomorrow with new enthusiasm and happy bookmaking. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.